Hi, Scott. Welcome. Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
Hello, hello. All right. Let's get the party started.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. It is officially the top of the hour. My name is Chelsey Lambert. I will be your host today. And with us, we have three very exciting legal document drafting solutions that are also very different. So I'm going to go through a few housekeeping notes, and I personally want to thank all of our presenters today. This is a very unique format. We will be demoing each of the products one after another over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour. So I'll give you a little bit of an overview before we dive in, and then we are going to kick things off, Nathan, if it's okay with you, with BriefPoint first, Smokeball second, and DraftWise third. That order works for everybody. We're going to get started in just a minute. So for those of you that are not familiar, Legal Tech Decoded is an educational platform. We try to cut through all of the sales and marketing noise and just bring the best products to you. With this explosion of AI that we've seen over the last couple of years, this is our flagship webinar series for the year. So each month, on the first Tuesday of every month at 2 o'clock Eastern, we will be featuring AI products from different categories. You can sign up for one webinar or the entire series. There's one per month through the end of the year. The format is that these will be live AI demos. I know each of these providers personally, so you won't feel like you're being, sold to. The goal is for you to see the best of the best and really show you how these products work and what they can do for your firm. And how they transform the legal work. It's going to be fast, so try not to blink. And so just a little bit of information about our providers today. BriefPoint, discovery in minutes, not hours. I will let Nathan share and show you a little bit about the solution today. Smokeball, run your best firm, build your best life, eliminate the administrative tasks and focusing on high level work. We are only going to be focusing on the document drafting portion of Smokeball today. So Smokeball is a full legal practice management solution that would take well over 10 or 15 minutes. So thank you, Zach. And Zach and I worked together previously. Really, really awesome tools inside. And Nathan and I worked together. BriefPoint is integrated with Smokeball for those of you that are curious. And then we have DraftWise, contract drafting reimagined with AI. So thank you so much to Scott for jumping in. So depending upon what your role is or the type of firm, or if you're a member of an in-house legal team, we are going to focus on why these products matter for legal professionals, how it boosts efficiency, how they drive outcomes, security and hallucinations the providers will touch on a little bit. And then you'll also be given some goodies or digital swag at the end, whether that's like a free trial or free membership in the Association for AI and Legal. So this is co-produced with the Association for AI and Legal. That's A4L.law. So by attending, you'll also get free membership in the association. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and kick things off. I'm going to turn the floor over to Nathan and let BriefPoint take it away with our first demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsey. Hello, everyone. Nathan Walter, CEO, co-founder of BriefPoint, litigator of 5 years, and I created BriefPoint to eliminate discovery work. I was a defense counsel, got tired of settling cases for my clients because attorneys' fees accrued too quickly, and I felt that discovery was a bleed dry tactic, and I thought everyone's life would be better if it didn't exist. So what I'm going to show you today is one of the many workflows BriefPoint has that relates to requests for production responses. Normally, for a request for production, you get the RFP from opposing counsel, you collect the documents from your client, you go through each RFP, you object, you find all the documents responsive to each request. If you're really going to get after it, you'll then cite to the documents responsive to each request by their Bates numbers, and then you have the Bates number of the documents. It's a whole mess. I'm going to do that entire process front to back for an entire RFP in 5 minutes. So let's get started. Sharing my screen here after I request access from Chelsey. who is muted.
There we go. Okay. There you go, Nathan. Sorry about that.
Dude.
Go ahead. And you do have a little bit of extra time because we only have 3 providers today.
Oh, well, unfortunately, efficiency is part of our brand, so I will still
There
be
you
going
go.
at about 1,000 miles an hour. So what we're seeing here is BriefPoint. We're an out-of-the-box solution, no setup required. I just got opposing counsel's request for production, and I need to respond to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click respond and upload my opposing counsel's RFP directly into BriefPoint. Now, this is a California case. It doesn't really matter where you have discovery. We are in all 50 states, DC, and all 98 federal district courts. We identify the venue upon upload and apply that venue's formatting rules and everything else to the outputted Word document automatically. You don't need to OCR these documents. They can be combined. They can be blurry, skewed. It doesn't matter. We have robust OCR and computer vision stuff in the background. There we go. This is ready. Click Get Started. Confirming the information that BriefPoint's pulled out of the document, we automatically create case and client folders for you. All of that based on the information we pull out of your opposing counsel's RFP. Now we're in our primary workflow where I have all 5 of my opposing counsel's RFPs. I can object by selecting the objections. There's no AI there. You can click suggest and BriefPoint will select and then write the objections, arguing why they apply. Table stakes. What I really want to show you is this find documents button. When I click Find Documents, BriefPoint's going to go through the entirety of your case file, records, reports, emails, photos, it doesn't matter. Everything, could be thousands and thousands of documents. Find all the documents responsive to this request, add them to a baited production package, and cite to them by their Bates range. So here we found 134 documents. That sounds good. I'm going to click Verify. You always want to verify anything the AI generates. And what we're looking at here is a foldering structure. So what BriefPoint did was we took the entirety of your case file, we titled everything, we read every single document, and we grouped them into folders to show you our work, to show you where the AI added documents in response to this RFP, and perhaps more critically, where we didn't. And that's represented by these color codings. So dark green is where we added folders, white's where we didn't. So we show you our work. There's no black box. We show you everything we do so you can feel comfortable and be like, yep, this makes sense to me. I would make the same decisions. Add it into the response and you're done. I'm going to click Find Documents for the rest of these guys, let them bake a little bit. And it doesn't take too long, right? So there's about 2,000 documents in this production. We found the one document that's responsive. Finding one document in a huge production might take a long time. Here we can do it pretty quickly. And then another thing is we can tell you where there are no documents. And finding the non-existence of a document is pretty annoying. That actually requires that you read everything to make sure it's not there. We can find that about 10 or so seconds. When we have 0 documents found, by the way, you can click Unable to Produce and provide a reason you can't produce documents, like the documents don't exist. You can also click Send to Client, and we'll collect the response from the client, add it in here as a sort of to fill in the gaps. I'm just going to cruise through the rest of this, click Include All. Click Review, set up how you want your Bates numbers to look. We will bait everything for you. You can also group them by exhibits, by preference. Set up the Bates numbers, click Download Production for a baited production package, and open in Word for the document, and what we get is this. So, caption page will be done automatically. We just clicked open in Word. So this is like the Word document response, right? So the caption page is automatically done. This is a California case, so it's a California caption. If you're in any other state, it'll be that state's caption and formatting. Preliminary statement done, general objections done. And then we have the RFPs with the text there, the objections, and the substantive responses where we're citing to all the responsive documents by their Bates ranges. This is the highest threshold of accurate document identification. That's a federally compliant in every single state. And we go into those details. So like one of these questions, by the way, which is asking for all documents that support a legal theory. Those documents are scattered across every production. Normally, putting this response together, where we're going through the Bates ranges of every document responsive to this very broad question, would take probably at least an hour. We can do it again in 2 to 10 seconds. And all of these Bates numbers reference that baited production package that's downloaded with this Word document as well. This RFP response is done. So in 5 minutes, I'm done with my RFP. That would normally take an afternoon at least. You can do it in a few minutes. I have so much more time. I guess we go too fast. Let's talk about one other feature while I'm here. Let's talk propounding discovery. So we do the responses, and we want to make it really easy for you to propound your opposing counsel to death, because the more discovery questions, selfishly, the higher the demand for response automation solutions. So we want to make it really easy to propound and respond. So to propound discovery or send outgoing sets, you click propound, you upload a PDF of the complaint in the case, And based on an AI that was trained on 23,000 samples or combinations of complaints and discovery requests, we're going to write a request for admission, request for production, and a set of interrogatories in one sweep based on a single complaint upload. And these are going to be tailored to the case. So I'm waiting for this to load. Oh, by the way, you can also, as of this week, you can supplement your discovery within BriefPoint. So if you're in Florida with the new supplemental discovery rules, just click supplement. You can do that all within BriefPoint. Here's the complaint. Click get started. Confirm the information we pulled out of the document. This looks good. This looks good. And now I want to draft my interrogatories, RFAs, and RFPs. Click confirm. We're now writing this discovery. One thing we wanted to do to improve the quality of these propounding discovery sets is while we write these questions, we check them for objection. And we do that through this AI that we train to object like a litigation attorney. We train in about 230,000 samples of litigators lodging objections to discovery requests, so it mimics litigator objection behavior. That AI is lodging objections to the requests we're writing, and as these requests are getting hit with objections right now, we're then rewriting these requests to evade those objections. So the sets of discovery we generate have actually and literally anticipated the average attorney's objections and taken steps to address them. So if you do need to compel, the grounds for compulsion will be relegated more to material, actual faults in response. So here's our RFAs loading up. And yeah, if you just look at this one RFA, in this single one, we have a reference to a date, an approximate time, an address. That is a high degree of case-specific detail. That tells me that the initial version of this may have been hit with an overbroader ambiguity, and so it was rewritten to bake in case specifics to evade those overbroader ambiguity objections. So there's 20 RFAs. Definition handling, you just double click on a word to define it. When you define it, we save the definition of the case, add it to the definition list everywhere it appears. If you want, you can also add standard questions into this. So if you have like your favorite RFAs you always want to ask in this type of case, you can click add from library and just drag and drop those standard questions in. And every account already comes with over 7,000 standard questions out of the box that you can use, ranging from background information to more case-specific details. So there I have my specifics on top, my templates on top, my specifics on bottom. Click open in Word, and now we have our RFAs done, RFPs. How many did we have here? That's about 40 RFPs done, and special interrogatories, 31. So we just generated about 120 discovery questions with 3 minutes and 1 complaint upload. Here's the document, ready for sign and service. I think that's probably enough information for now. Any questions, I guess?
We do have a question, Nathan. Is there a way to flag folders or content so it is always marked as non-responsive? For example, communications on or attorney work product.
Oh yeah. So when you initially upload your case file to BriefPoint, I showed you that foldering structure. That foldering structure always exists now on your case page in BriefPoint. And so you'll always have this organized case file on BriefPoint that you can search through and do things like mark as privilege. You can also click download and download this foldering structure, this organized case file onto your computer and drag and drop that folder into your CMS so that you now have like an organized client file wherever you want it to exist. Back to your question about privilege. You can search through these documents and you can search things into images. Like if I search seat, we have this image that pops up and the title of this image is chair analysis and it's just an image, but we convert all the images into text so you can search through it. And finally, to get to your point, you can also search into parties. So if my name is John and I am an attorney, I can search my own name and everything that references me will be here. I can double check it. Say, oh, this is privileged. Click designate as privileged or withheld for any other reason. And when you do that, we store it in the privileged list. And therefore it's removed from the production. It'll never be added as responsive. And I can come back to this list and use this list as a basis for a log should I need to provide one.
Excellent. Thank you, Nathan. We have a follow-up question. Where are the 230,000 samples from?
Court documents, there are several venues in the US where you have to electronically file your discovery, and that was where we pulled everything from using but basically legal methods of data extraction from court websites.
Thank you. And encouraging audience members to please feel free to enter your questions in as we go. We have built-in time for our providers to answer. Again, follow-up question. Can you elaborate on the folder structure? Because this looks like I might need to search the production documents and flag production after it is created.
So the foldering structure is merely a convenience for to show our work, where we're saying, hey, here's these category of documents that we produced. This foldering structure is, and it's also for your own organizational, I have now a folder for medical records, and I can go through that and have one place for medical records. Um, you don't really need to go back here. If you find anything privileged while you're in the response workflow, you can mark things as privileged in that response workflow I was initially in. You can do that initially. You can do it before you upload it to BriefPoint. Using the foldering structure is completely optional.
Thank you, Nathan. And we have a few more. This looks awesome, but where does it struggle? Is there any area that is still under development?
Oh, yeah. So right now, as of today, the RFP response finder function is not as inclusive as it needs to be. So it adds some leftovers where not all the documents that are responsive are produced. That's getting an update, hopefully this week, where we're going to be launching the update. But even then, what we do to combat that problem is on the final step of the RFP response workflow, we show you everything that you've uploaded that wasn't included in a response and therefore is not part of the production. And the reason we show you this is so that you can manually fix the loose ends, like the things that may have been left on the table by BriefPoint. And there's always going to be a few because of that issue I just identified. In recognition of this issue that is common, we allow you to manually fix this pretty easily just by looking at the documents that appear responsive, selecting them, and then clicking Add to Response, choosing the RFP they're responsive to, and now they're part of that RFP response. And so long as there's nothing in this list that you want to produce, all your bases are covered.
Thank you, Nathan. We have two more questions. Last call for questions for BriefPoint. We will be switching to Smokeball in just a second. So you're on deck, Zach. For Texas, how good is state court training in Texas and specifically with regards to family law?
So family law is, I believe, our second or third largest cohort, and Texas is our second largest state. So we have a ton of Texas family law content, or I mean, we can handle it. I believe we do have, like, even for the discovery request, by the way, if I go to BriefPoint Library, if I do family law, we have infidelity and some other content that's more specific to a Texas or Texas style state. We work really well in Texas. We have the certificates of service nailed down. The formatting is really good. I would encourage you to see for yourself. We love Texas.
Thank you, Nathan. And last question for BriefPoint. How does it integrate with DMSs on the market? Do those docs sit in the cloud? If so, is it your cloud? How is data protected? And is AI training on it further?
We are not using any data you throw into BriefPoint to train any AI. So there's zero data retention AI policy. The stuff we use to train the AI is based on core website collection over the last 5 years. Where is it staying? So we do not integrate with any DMSs today. So the files do need to bounce off of your computer. However, we do have intake processes in BriefPoint that we're adding and other client document collection things where you can collect the documents from your client initially via BriefPoint, and then we'll keep those documents on the BriefPoint. So when you get an RFP, they're already loaded in. Otherwise, you get your documents from your client the way you normally do. They do need to bounce off of your computer and vice versa. Granted, any Word document that we generate will, the Word documents are always going to be on your computer at some point. So that's not too big of a hassle. But if you have your documents sort of entrenched in your DMS in this crazy foldering system, just download that foldering system, turn it into a zip file, upload it into BriefPoint, and then we'll extract all the files from that foldering system and load it in so you don't need to do it piecemeal. You can do it all at once. As far as where the cloud is, we use Microsoft Azure servers. We're SOC 2 Type 2 certified, and everything's encrypted. And Our co-founder, my co-founder, was a lead engineer at Relativity eDiscovery, which is a preeminent e-discovery solution. We use the same security protocols they do for cloud data infrastructure security and everything else. So it's very secure, and we have a robust trust center that goes over all the details of our encryption and data storage, all US-based Microsoft servers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nathan. Last question. Where can our audience members find out more information or request a longer demo specific to their practice area?
Absolutely. To do that, you go to briefpoint.com or briefpoint.ai, doesn't really matter. Click get started, schedule a demo. We'll do a full, you let us know your practice area up front. We'll do the entire demo for your jurisdiction and practice area. So briefpoint.ai, click get started, sign up a demo. We have availability this afternoon, I'm pretty sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Great job. You're up, Zach.
I'm unmuted. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen here in just a sec. I'm Zach, senior sales engineer at Smokeball. Been here for now almost coming up on 6 years. Pro fun tip, if you're ever going to start a new job, start at the beginning of a pandemic. There. But absolutely fantastic system, case management, doc management, contact management, and billing management, all built into one along with AI. But our true bread and butter is when it comes to our document automation. And that's because we're taking in all of your data that you're filling out, whether it comes in from an intake form or you're filling it out directly in the system itself, and putting it to documents. So all the different matter types that exist across all 50 states, we have all those matter types already built out for you. So that way you're able to input that information in and have all those different fields populate that you might need. And I've pulled up some different matters here. And you'll notice basically for an estate planning matter, I can track the client, I can track all the estate details, property details, assets, financial institutions, and more. And if you're already saying to me, hey, I might need some bonus fields there with it, what's fantastic is I can literally go up to the gear and add them on demand. So every type of field that you may need is going to be there and is there for document automation purposes. So I can always just turn those right on, and they will pop right on for me. Same thing too when it comes to family. The reason I often think family and estate planning is because of the fact that when it comes to grammar, those are always two of the hardest types of law to automate. So I'm going to start off with a letter here, a case caption, and then we're going to dive into some document automation as well. So what's great is literally whoever I have to, let's say just a simple humble letter, I can click on my blank letter button here, and it'll pull in my letterhead no matter the office I'm in too. So if I have different branch offices, it'll pick the letterhead for that specific branch, and I can choose for that specific party and create that doc. And this is just how quick it is. Literally pops right on up there and lets me draft my letter. So it pulls in the address, the letterhead, the subject line, and it'll even pull in the signature of the attorney assigned to the file or the current user. So it's adaptive based on that. What's great though is you never leave Smokeball behind, even when going into Word, because we have one of the tightest integrations, if not the tightest, on the market. So if I head over to the right-hand side of my screen here, if I realize, you know what, darn it, I misspelled something here, or a client moved, I can even go right into it, pull up that contact card, and adjust it. And you know what, Steve, he's feeling a little more formal. He got his doctorate. Good for you, Steve. And it will cascade right down to the form then with it. So it updates it live right for me in all the different appropriate spots. And that's so essentially, I don't have to do any of that hard-baked automation. It comes right out of the box with your letterheads and case captions. It's like I said, case caption. Let's launch that out. So I can click the caption button. Like there before, the California case caption, a little bit different than the other ones there. So we come with that included out of the box too. So again, I can hit create there, and it'll pull in all of the appropriate information, and it'll populate my case caption right for me at the click of a button. So all that good information that I've already input will output there. And it can even prompt off with questions too, like what doc? So that way, if you don't have a template right out of the box, but you need to write something in, it will pull that information in for you there. Now, Let's actually get to the meat and potatoes. So all of your own proprietary forms or court forms. What's great is that actually comes with our template lab. So that's our automation that we have throughout our system for all your different states. All 50 states in DC, any of their local judicial council forms there will come automated. So your local courthouse, state house, any federal forms. If I type in any form here, I literally type in, for example, FL-100. That is a California petition, and I need to generate that right on out. It will pull in to that PDF document all the fields. We make sure they're updated and up to date for it, and it's going to pull in as many spots as it absolutely can there for you. But what about something like a marital settlement agreement? My own proprietary forms that I need to do. I can search for them and I can create them and or modify them. For sake of time, pulled up the marital settlement agreement here. So how it works essentially is anything that's in yellow is pulling in from all the fields. So again, the more good data in, the more good data out. And if I literally can insert things here too. And what's great is because of the fact that we control the fields there, you're able to output your things in any way that you want. So if I were literally to say to any of you, hey, how do you want someone's full name to appear in a document? Do you want it with the address? Do you want it formatted down, just their initials, first name, last name, etc.? It'll pull in all those information pieces there. Same thing too with word choice. If you are a divorce lawyer on this call and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm really great at doing my forms, but grammar, not my strong suit. And neither was it my strong suit either. It can literally look at the number of fields and go, hey, for this matter, there's 5 kids, so I'm going to put the word Ren after child. If it's an estate planning file, beneficiary with a Y or an IES. And I can actually have it run through different prompts too. So that way, having multiple sets of templates where you say, I might have one for one with kids, without kids, with a property, without a property, maybe without some complexities there with it. You can condense those all into one document then at the end of the day and have it run through and output in those ways that you need to with it. And what's super fun too is it'll do all those different pieces that are needed there. So now everything that was in yellow is pulling on in to it. So it's pulling all those kids' information there with it, pulling in the counties, the dates of divorce, the case number, and all the appropriate spots. And you can even add in if then else logic to it. So I actually have it in the fun template mode here. And you'll see I have it right now in show fields. So something as common as if the client exists, put this. I literally put in, hey, this is where we are, the battle of the brands there. So if that is true that the client exists, it will put that. And if it's false, it'll put whatever is in the false spot then there. So I literally click show values now. And because of the fact that it recognizes it's true, that's the information then it outputs for you. So that way, again, rather than having so many different templates for so many different occasions and trying to remember, hey, this is my occasion for this that I'm going to use a certain template or this. It's just all done for you. We can show you on trainings too, unlimited client trainings when it comes to document automation, as well as guides. And you're even able to take all those well built out forms that you have, and you can even tie them to tasks. So you can say, hey, I need this person to draft this doc and I can link it out to that automated template and say, this is the exact template I want you to use for this situation there. So it can literally be one of those templates that already exists, and I can say, hey, this is the one I want you to use, and it's right there waiting. So basically, not only will we automate your docs, but we'll help your staff actually adopt those usage of automation as well. Again, unlimited forms from all 50 states come out of the box, as well as your own proprietary forms you're able to automate as well, and unlimited training on those too. I think that's our biggest piece as well.
Thank you, Zach.
Absolutely.
Would we have some time? Would you mind walking us through the Archie AI email and document drafting?
Yeah, absolutely. So, got a little extra time here. What's fantastic is we do have Archie, our AI matter assistant, that you can say, hey, you know what? I've input a lot of good information. Not only is it going to be good for document output, but I can ask questions about the file itself. Like I can say, hey, how many kids are there? And it'll run through that question for me with it. So it can do things as fantastic as that. So it'll look at that information on your matter and your matter alone. What's great is it is a closed AI and it's limited to the data on your matter. So it's not looking at any other cases. It's not looking at the internet there for it. So that way, hallucinations that can abound, it tightens it up. It'll actually look at knowledge sources. Then there for just maybe your state's local statutes, you can upload those and say, hey, this is the brand I want to give you, as well as you can choose what model you like of AI for large language models there as the way to do it. And again, I can choose literally anything I want to draft for me. Like I can say, hey, draft a set of interrogatories, and it'll literally then output a copy of that right within it. So it can generate docs, it can generate emails, it can do all those different things, as well as there's different apps on it. And you can also see two recent chats that I've asked it to. When I asked it, those are limited to just me and me alone there, as well as different prompts. So you can run through a set of prompts that you need to. So saying, hey, these are repeat questions that I want my staff to use over and over again. You're actually able to create those prompts then and say, hey, these are a good set of questions to ask for it. I'm actually going to come over there while that's thinking. So you can see right here, here's some of the prompts we have right out of the box where I can say, hey, draft a response to that petition that was filed, extract the legal description for your real estate cases, help me with the deposition transcript or court transcript with that audio output. Hey, give me an introduction to opposing counsel. And again, what it looks through there. I can even ask it to give me like a quick TLDR of a full matter. So saying, hey, I recently was on this case assigned, give me a detailed piece with it. It'll actually run through all the different sources that it has on the matter for the docs and can actually say, hey, here are how many tasks are out there, here are all those different files, etc. It'll do all those pieces with it.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. We have a few questions for you.
Go for it.
Is there a page that shows all of the custom fields for a matter? Would you be able to show that? If a field is left blank, what happens in the document output from the document automation section?
Great question. So there are literally millions of fields when it comes down to it. It's based on the matters themselves, but what we do have though is do have a complete knowledge base piece on guides on it. All I literally have to do is click the question mark at the top of my file. It'll take me directly to my support lab, template lab, and it'll let me search. I can find them all here. And when I'm actually in my documents itself and I want to find those particular fields, so I'm ready to insert something, I can actually go here to field and I can say, hey, I need to find child. Search. It'll search anywhere that that field is available then. So that way I can say, hey, what do I need? And give me the variety that I need then too. So you're able to search it to then add them in. But as you can tell, there are hundreds across different states and all those different outputs that you need. And I think there was a third part of the question there.
Yes, 1 second. If a field is left blank,
Blank, what will happen?
what does the output in the document look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So if a field is left blank there, I'm actually going to scroll on up here because it's a great example. So right here, unfortunately, I didn't list the age of this poor little child here. So notice it basically tried to fill it out saying, hey, they're born in the year zero. That's an old child there with it. You can specifically put in those highlights to say, hey, this is where all the automation is pulling in then. It'll either pull nothing there, Or if the field itself doesn't exist, if you have an if then else logic question where it'll say, hey, if this field exists, put this, and if not, put nothing. Sometimes you want nothing to pull. So sometimes that actually can be a good thing there. But we suggest putting highlights in to again say, hey, this is where it's pulling, and then to highlight the whole doc and turn it off once you're completed there. But it also lets your eyes then go, hey, this is where Smokeball automation is pulling in versus the boilerplate language that's always there with every file.
Thank you, Zach. And just to follow up to that,
Sure.
what is the process for adding data to the custom fields for a specific matter? So,
Absolutely.
yep, go ahead.
So when it does come to adding specific data fields, we do control them. However, we've always rolled out new pieces there. So our matters definitely, the reason why they have so many fields is because of user feedback from all of you attorneys and paralegals that are out there that we work with. So for family alone here, you'll notice we started off with the classics, petitioner, respondent, judge, but then over time it literally got as complex as child specialist, child's counselor, quadro-reparator, realtors, interpreters, employers, guardian ad litems, reunification coordinator, parenting coordinator. It just got more and more advanced, and that's because of user feedback like you. And the reason we control it is to make sure that for all those outputs to make it grammar proof, gender proof, situation proof there, we want to give you all those fields and not have to, you have to build them yourself there. We take those suggestions seriously and we're always adding updates to make it easier for you to automate.
Thank you, Zach. And we've got 3 minutes, so we'll see if we can make it through the rest of the questions. How secure is the AI regarding training? In other words, is Archie in a bunker?
Is Archie in a bunker? It sure is. So that's actually the nicest piece. Oh, love that dad joke too. So literally it's just limited to that matter and that matter alone. It's not used to store your data and keep it to train on that specific piece with it. The only sources of data it pulls are the details from the matter that you filled out, the documents in said matter itself, and then any knowledge sources to basically give it a brain. So local statutes and pieces like that. That being said, when it does come to security, we are HIPAA compliant. We are ISO-2701 certified there, and we follow three continents worth of security and privacy laws there too. We post our privacy policy too. So if you literally Google Smokeball security policy or Smokeball privacy policy, it'll list out all those pieces of definitely our industry leading security and privacy standards.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. And we got 2 minutes, two more questions. Does it connect to NetDocs, email, Dropbox? I would like those documents to be created, pulling data from those sources.
So we actually are our own document management system itself. We do link with Dropbox on one of our tiers of Smokeball, but we actually are our own document management. And the reason why you don't potentially need some of those other storage solutions are because Smokeball can store up to 50,000 docs and files per matter. So that's not total, it's literally per matter. If you have 100,000 matters and each of those have 50,000 docs and folders on them, that's no problem. And it's at no extra cost for that solution either. It's unlimited document storage there for it.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. Down to the wire.
Ooh,
Scott,
one
you
more.
are up. We do have one more on comparison to tools like Clio Draft Hot Docs, but I will connect you so that you can answer that after.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all.
Apologies, we didn't make it through on a tight time schedule today. Thank you, Zach.
All right, I'll take it away. Yeah, thanks for having us, and happy to be here. I am the legal product expert at DraftWise. So I'm an attorney. I started practicing at Oric back in 2015, and then have been in the legal tech space for about 4.5 years now, working really closely with both law firms and in-house groups, focused on the transactional side of automating contract review. And at DraftWise, I work really closely with our product and engineering teams to make sure that everything that we're doing fit true legal workflows and ensuring that all of our outputs are up to the elite level that top lawyers need. So, quick overview of DraftWise. You can think of us as a contract intelligence platform. So we plug directly into iManage, NetDocs, Box, SharePoint, Google Drive, wherever your contracts live, so that you can leverage insights from your contracts, whether you're drafting documents, reviewing documents, negotiating contracts, to be able to pull from what you've done before, ensure consistency across review from the organization, and also get insights into what's market across all the deals that you're doing. So if you walk away with anything from this, I just want you to think contract intelligence, everything that we do is based in the real deals that you negotiate, as opposed to coming from like a black box of an LLM. So without further ado, I'll get into it. And today I'm going to go a little bit off script to show you something new that I'm really excited about. So we can automate the creation of contracts from things like term sheets, intakes, LOIs. We can draft a full suite of transaction documents. So think if you're doing like an NVCA type financing, you can draft the full suite from a term sheet. But I'm going to talk about reviewing contracts from scratch. So automating your review of high volume contracts that are clogging up your desk, clogging up your deals, and being able to do that using playbooks, but from the perspective of not even having a playbook. So the first thing I'm going to show you, and this is what I'm really excited about, is that we've basically solved the bottleneck towards being able to automate an organization's contract reviews. Previously, playbooks were very helpful, but they were very time consuming to create. Somebody had to go through all of your executed agreements, your templates, pull out the positions that you're actually negotiating, and then put those into a document that everybody would be able to use, transfer that to a playbook solution, and then you could run them. So that could be like, 20 to 40 hours of work spread across months. Big barrier to finding value in a tool. But DraftWise has solved this. So again, this is brand new. And also a quick teaser, we're going to offer everybody here a free 7-day trial of what I'm going to show you. I'll be showing a link and a QR code at the end of this so that you can go through and actually start using this today on your real documents, your real playbooks, and really kick the tires and make sure that everything that I'm telling you is totally true. So all right, let's get into it. So we're looking at DraftWise in the browser right now. We also have a Word add-in that I'll show a little bit later. But I'm going to go through and start from the position of, like, I've got maybe 50 NDAs sitting on my desk. They're a huge pain for me. They're a necessary evil that are really kind of like a speed bump to me getting deals done. So I want to automate my review of those. I'm always making the same types of edits. So I'll do that from a playbook. If you already have existing playbooks, so maybe they exist in like a table in a Microsoft Word document, or it's a set of bullet points, you can easily just drop those into DraftWise. DraftWise can ingest those, and then you can start using them immediately. But more interestingly, you can also create playbooks from scratch. So here, this will all be based in the real documents that your organization is negotiating. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell DraftWise, hey, create a playbook, take my preferred positions from my template NDA, and make those my strongest positions in my playbook. So we're going through, we're looking at my template NDA, and we're going to extract, in this case, all of the positions that benefit me as the recipient, because that's the perspective of this playbook that I told DraftWise to do. And this is a really common flow that we see organizations do. Usually when you get an NDA in on third-party paper, you're going to make comments to bring it in line with your first-party template NDA. So create your strongest positions in your playbook based on your actual templates. And then I'm going to supplement all of these positions with fallback positions based in our actual executed contracts. So I'm going to find all of those positions where we were willing to compromise and add those in as fallback positions that I can use as I progress through the negotiation. So we see this is running really fast. We're pulling out rules based in our actual contracts, the things that we're actually negotiating. And this is going to allow me to start using this on a new agreement that's sitting on my desk within minutes. So we get full set of rules. I have citations to everything that is being created. So when I clicked on this citation, it brought up the full text of my template agreement, taking me right to the part where the rule came from so that I can go in, quickly verify that everything's working the way I expect it to, that it's reflecting the real positions that we're taking. So very easy for me to verify everything that DraftWise is doing. And now we've got our built out playbook of preferred positions. So now I'm going to supplement that. And I'll just drop in, I don't know, here's like 6 recent executed agreements. And I'm going to use these again to create my fallback positions. So now we're looking at all of the places where I was willing to compromise in the negotiation and do something other than accept something other than my strongest go forward position. Now I can pull these out of our actual executed NDAs so that all of the positions that you see, everything that you get is going to be based in what you're actually negotiating. And this means that you can do really cool things like preserve your preferred tone of phrasing things when you create edits. You can make sure that everything that is being done here fits the organization's risk tolerances, or if you're doing this on behalf of a client, make sure that it fits all of the language that they really need in their agreements. And now you can have a fully tailored playbook ready to go in minutes. So there's nothing really else out on the market that's really providing this type of time to value to being able to automate your playbooks. And if the reason why this is so exciting to me is because I've built a ton of playbooks and I know how painful that process is. So being able to do this is just like it's honestly kind of mind blowing to me. Related to playbook creation is that oftentimes we hear from organizations that playbook maintenance is almost more of a problem. So maybe you spend the time to create a playbook manually, and 6 months later, your playbook becomes stale. Your organization is responding to new positions. You have to respond to new regulations and new legislation. So maybe you need to start addressing privacy and personal information concerns that you didn't have to before. I can come back in here and just attach my examples of agreements where I've been taking those new positions and have DraftWise update my playbook based on those new example documents. And that allows me to have like truly living playbooks that move along with me at the same speed my organization is. I can go in here. I was working with a client just yesterday on they needed to update like 5 of the rules in one of their playbooks based on a new position. So they just came in and via prompt, they just told DraftWise like, hey, like make this substantive change to these 5 rules. With one prompt, updated all 5 of them, and they were ready to go. So truly makes this whole process really frictionless for me, so that I can easily start using these and benefiting from them. So now I've got a built out playbook. I can start using it. So let me show you I'll move over to the Word add-in just so that you can see what it looks like and show you what running a playbook looks like. So I'm gonna hop over to Word. Let me share my screen here again. Okay, great. So got Microsoft Word open. This is a third-party NDA that I just received from a counterparty. And I've got DraftWise opened as a Word add-in. I just selected the appropriate playbook for this agreement based on or from my library of playbooks. So you can have as many playbooks as you need. They can be, contract type, deal type specific, client specific. It can be shared with permissions throughout your team so that everybody on your team can use these to really focus in and make sure that everybody's hitting every point in the playbook, ensuring greater consistency of review across an organization, reducing risk of what is being negotiated when you have multiple reviewers. And when I run a playbook, DraftWise is reading through this entire agreement. It's comparing it to all of the points that I've laid out in my playbook. So all of those negotiation preferences, that we just created by the playbook creation process. And it's telling me in red, here are all the places where this contract doesn't meet my requirements. I need to do some work to those parts of the contract. In green, these are all the places where contract already meets my requirements. We're good to go. This yellow item is telling me that my preferred position, my strongest position is not met, but my fallback position is met. So I can use this via fallbacks throughout the full negotiation of this document. So later turns of the document. For all of these items, I have access to what my position was. So here, I just said it's okay to agree that the recipient can't have an exclusive arrangement with financing providers as long as the recipient can retain an exclusive financing team. I get an explanation that even though we're barred from entering into agreements that broadly restrict financing sources from serving others, we are expressly permitted to establish industry standard tree arrangements. So great, that meets my requirements. I can click the citation here to hop right to the part of the agreement where this language exists. And I can go in, quickly verify that, yes, we have this permission for industry standard tree arrangements. So I know I'm good to go here. Something just to highlight really quick from my perspective that I love about this is that if you'll remember, my guidance was that we need to be able to retain an exclusive financing team. The actual language here is that we can have industry standard tree arrangements. So that's the same legal concept, but word for word, it's really different. So we've invested a ton of time in making this powerful at cutting across different forms of documents, different formulations of the same concept, so that I, as an attorney, don't have to try to account for all of that when I'm setting up playbook rules. Instead, I can really just have positions that speak to substance, and DraftWise can look at that for me. Related to that, whenever we create an edit for a non-compliant issue, so anytime you have a place where you need to make a change to a document, we're going to generate the edit. Really nice to have things. You'll notice that our edits are always very surgical and inline. So we make everything reflect the same way that lawyers actually negotiate documents. So you're never going to see huge deletions and insertions of text. Instead, we're weaving everything directly into the contract that you're working on, regardless of its form. And also, we automatically use the correct defined terms for the contract that you're working on. So here, I'm using receiving party and representatives because that's what is being used in this agreement. If I was looking at an agreement that used like interested party and evaluation material instead, doesn't matter. I don't need to account for that when I'm setting up my playbook. Instead, DraftWise is just going to automatically recognize that and use the appropriate defined terms for me. So very powerful to do my first draft review. And I can go through and I can apply all of my solutions directly into the document. So these go in and normal Microsoft Word track changes, showing me as the author because I'm the user logged into Word. So we're never going to show that DraftWise made the edits. And I can work through and apply all my edits, mark my contract up. I can also generate a fully cumulative draft. So a full markup of this agreement just by hitting apply all. It'll apply all my playbook rules in, and then I can have a first pass markup done that is kind of like having a junior associate do it for me. So very powerful. Then I can just go through, do my final pass review, make any tweaks, and send this out to the counterparty, get it off my desk. So that is the whirlwind tour of playbooks. There's a lot of other things that we do, leveraging your internal contracts, but I want to make sure that there's time for questions, so I'll pause.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. We have a question. How does this compare to playbooks in Spellbook?
Yeah. So first, the Playbook Studio part that I just showed you of being able to create playbooks from scratch, automatically ingest your playbooks, maintain your playbooks by just telling DraftWise what edits you need there. That's one of our main differentiators. Something that I didn't have time to show you is we have a playbook optimization feature where I can run a playbook against, like a corpus of executed agreements. So maybe like 20 executed NDAs, and I can get analytics on how often we're getting each position. So what that allows me to do is see maybe I'm spending a lot of time negotiating for a preferred position that I'm only getting in one of 20 contracts. So now I'm realizing that I'm wasting turns of negotiating for something that the market isn't willing to give. So I can optimize my playbook based on that. I can optimize based on the strength of position that I see across those analytics. So that's one way. Another way is that anecdotally, we hear that our accuracy of suggested language is incredibly high. So our usage rates show that people are accepting the language that we provide in our edits unedited at a 95% rate. So the accuracy is incredibly high. And also, this is tied again to all of the actual language, the actual positions that you're taking in your contracts. So this reflects everything from the actual organization's corpus of documents.
Thank you. And here we go. Can you give us an idea about user pricing for DraftWise for small teams, let's say less than 5 people?
Yeah, I'm not the right person to speak to pricing, but I'd be happy to put whoever's interested in contact with our broader sales team and have a conversation there. So that actually, I'm just gonna throw up the information for reaching out if you're interested to hear and learn more. So if you're interested in reaching out for a deeper dive demo, anything like that, email sales@draftwise.com. And as promised, we're also happy to offer everybody here a free 7-day trial of what you've seen today. So this trial is fully secure. We're not going to access any of your playbooks, your documents, no other, it won't be commingled with any other customer data, and everything will be wiped securely at the end of your 7-day trial, though you will be able to export any playbooks that you create so that you can use those internally on your own, or you can try them against us in any other product. So here's a link that we can send around and some follow-up information. And then also here's a QR code if you want to just access the link via QR code right now.
Excellent. We have put a poll up and we have Nathan and Zach still with us. So last call for questions today. You will also be receiving an invitation from the Association for AI in Legal. You can find them at a4l.law. We are a community of legal professionals and vetted providers that want to increase adoption of AI in the legal community by showcasing products and solutions that are delivering AI in a responsible and ethical manner. So really, really excited for everybody to participate in this series. Thank you all so much for registering. Huge thank you to Nathan, Scott, and Zach for doing the very, very much a power or speed demo version of their product and the best of their AI suite. So really, really look forward to next month. The AI Battle of the Brands series will always be held on Tuesday afternoons at 2 o'clock, the first Tuesday of every month. You can follow us at legaltechdecoded.com and we'll send a recap email out with the recording so that you can share it with your colleagues. Any final thoughts, guys? Zach, Nathan? All good?
No, just thanks so much for having us, Chelsey.
Of course, of course. Until next time, thank you all so much for your time today.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.